Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whatever time it might be where you are. How's it going? Hello, welcome back to my live stream. My name is Jeff Fritz. Today is December 22nd, 2018. It's my last stream before the Christmas holiday. Hence the hat. You like the hat? Look at that. I've even got a little bit of sequins on there. Right? I've got a little bit of red. I'm looking a little bit more festive, huh? Huh? Bardaki, thank you for that compliment. Yes. Robert Tables is here. Quincy NL. Moz is here. Hey, Moz. Oh, that's nice. Windows 10 would like me to restart right now. No thanks. Come back later. Let's see. Let me acknowledge some other folks here. In case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, says Truman. Yes, absolutely. Wintermute, good morning. Hello, hello. I already said hello to Bardaki Crash. Good evening. Oh, yeah. I'm glad you like the hat. And Magnus is here. Hello. All right. I was asked to read a couple Christmas stories. I'm going to set up about an hour in. I'm going to read "'Twas the Night Before Die Hard," as requested on our GitHub issues. So let your friends know. Tell your friends. Tell your families. Tell your pets. We're gonna learn all about Hans Gruber and The Night Before Die Hard, and then at the end of the stream today, of course, I'm going to wrap up by reading the traditional Night Before Christmas. So you're welcome to clip. You're welcome to create pointers to the YouTube's videos later. I'll put on my best radio voice, and we'll have a great time. But in the meantime, we're going to write some code. We're going to learn a little bit more about C#. We're going to write a little bit more in our two-way communications with our Visual Studio extension. I've got my dad mug my kids gave me. Dad character builder. Look at that. My kids gave me that for Christmas a couple years ago, so I like to break it out this time of year. Let's see, you're likely to be tickled to know I scored one of those lovely Windows sweaters a couple days ago. Fantastic, Wintermute. That is awesome. I didn't get one of those. One of those cool Windows sweaters. My team sent me a Visual Studio windbreaker, waterproof windbreaker. Very nice. You may see me wearing that at an event in the future. Hey, Stelzy and Smab. Tagaron says, a red shirt, am I a Scot? Scott! No. Just trying to look a little bit more festive. The fact that it looks like Scott! And his wardrobe is purely coincidental. Binary Chef wants a cool Windows sweater. Yeah, it's like, why not make a swag store and make some of those things available to some of your fans? And if you sell enough, you have physical stores too. Might be a good idea. Let's see if they take our praise for that fun Windows sweater and they actually turn it into a real thing. I'd like to get some music to code by playing in the background here. Music to code by, of course, it's music that's been designed, scientifically engineered to help get you focused, get you in the flow so that you can accomplish whatever task it might be that you're working on. Maybe it's code, maybe it's homework, maybe it's lawn work, whatever it is, it helps get you focused. Today, I think I'm going to play Gold. There we go. You can always get your copy of Music to Code by at mtcb.pwop.com. Support Carl Franklin in his efforts to write more great music like this to get us in the groove. Each one of these songs is 25 minutes long. It's the same length as a Pomodoro. Listen to the full song. At the end of it, take a break for 5 minutes before you listen to it again. Thanks so much, Carl. We appreciate we appreciate you allowing us to listen to your music while we're writing code together here on the stream. Music to landscape by. Hey, that works too. Very good afternoon from the Netherlands, says Shy Sharp. Hey, how's it going out there? As I promised, I'd pose with my original Windows 95 CD from 1996, so I have to dig that out. I have... It's here on my shelf. Let me see if I can find it real quick. There was a contest, like a mail-in raffle, before I was working for Microsoft. Here it is. they did a thing for Windows 7, and I was not an employee, but I was sent the Steve Ballmer signature edition of Windows 7. How about that, huh? And disk is still in here and everything. So that was kind of cool, right? The Steve Ballmer signature edition. You know, that was always interesting to see something like that in what, almost 10 years later after that was issued. A binary chef. Will this music help me resist the Xbox.com year-end game sale? The Steam winter sale? No. That Steam winter sale is pretty good. Didn't mean to post the link. No. That's quite all right. That's fine. Let's see. I have a Windows 95 CD purchased the day it was released. Nice. Everyone's Windows 7 discs are still in the packaging because reasons. The Windows 95 CD has a good song. It does. Yeah. All right. I am going to I want to talk to you about one or two things here that I checked out this week that I thought was kind of neat. You might be interested in. Hello, we're back over here. Gosh, that one, which one is it? This one. That green light is just not, it's not filling in quite right. We'll deal with it. Let's see. You have the Windows 98 original CD. Oh, that's awesome. Massive Quasar. One of my Mac guys switched to Linux for a while and is not on Win 10. Says he loves it. Okay. Especially with the Windows subsystem for Linux, WSL. Looks really cool with those holograms. It's not in... Oh, the discs. Yes. You also won the Windows 7 Ultimate Edition, but it wasn't a signed version. I do have a Windows ME edition somewhere. I do. I need to find that. Just for the nostalgia's sake. All right. I wanted to... We were talking about Steam, and that reminded me. I wanted to share with you something, and Robert Tables already knows about this. We don't need Skype open. Let's close Skype. Of course I've got Steam closed. It's not open right now. Not Stream, Steam. There it is. I was checking out and playing some games with our friend Face earlier this week. I, of course, tuned into Face on... that's funny. Why can't you connect to Steam? Why can't you? Whatever, start in offline mode. Yep, it's not there. Reconnect. Why can't you connect to Steam? I had Steam working. I don't want to be in offline mode. Resume. Is there a problem with Steam this morning? Can't be me. I'm broadcasting. My network works, of course. Of course, I'm C# Fritz on Steam if you're ever looking for me out there. Yeah, that won't load. Rats. We were playing a game earlier this week. I've got more than 3 games. We were playing when the table fight was crazy. That was crazy. That isn't what I wanted to highlight. I guess I'll have to... well, I was looking at this game, While True Learn. Here it is. There we go. This is kind of funny. This is a game that's designed to help teach you some of the basics, some of the concepts around machine learning by growing a career and writing a machine learning algorithm to decipher what cats are saying. So funny. I downloaded this and I was playing this for hours yesterday. It's on Steam sale right now for just a couple bucks. Go ahead and check that out. And our friend Face, let me throw a shout out there in the chat room. She was playing it on Thursday night with another one of our friends, Kevin Spicy. Check that out and might have some fun with it. Learning a little bit of the basics of machine learning. And I want to... Part of me wants to bring on a Seth Juarez or somebody else who's an expert in machine learning, have some fun with this, and then do a little ML.net or something like that. Hey, Rambling Geek, good to see you. Old enough that you have your own. Yeah. I did click the Steam, and the Steam tab, and it didn't reconnect for me. There you go. 559. Exactly, Binary Chef. Why not give it a try at $5? It's better than a cup of coffee, and it'll last longer too. So, Ancient Coder, Rainbow Beard will happen when I reach 5,000 followers. Yes. Did I miss a comment from Crash up there somewhere? Yes, I still support Girl Develop It. I don't see a comment there from Crash. Where is it? Oh, did the glitter? No, not glitter. But yes, I do still donate to Girl Develop It. I need to set up and make that year-end donation. We will definitely do that. A cup of coffee does have terrible replayability. Thoughts on PowerShell? It's a great scripting environment. It's a wonderful shell. It's my preferred shell, and no, I like the DOS command prompt. It's okay. I like it. I enjoy using PowerShell. It's something I need to spend more time with. Is that Keister72? Thanks so much for the follow. I appreciate you joining. You love PowerShell. That's terrific. I enjoy using PowerShell. I haven't spent enough time learning some of the ins and outs around it that I'll get confused at times. It's something that I do need to spend some more time with. Full disclosure, for the Ignite conference, right back in September, we were going to have Jeff Holland on, and we ran into some technical issues. I'm glad that we only had the one guest scheduled, and we figured out those technical issues at that time. And that was network issues. That wasn't anything that I could control. The network that they gave me was awful. Yes, PowerShell is on Linux now. It's amazing on Linux, is what I'm told. I haven't tried it. But for Ignite, I had requested Jeffrey Snover to join us to talk about PowerShell and do a little bit of learning, do some hands-on PowerShell learning together, and do some Q&A with him. It is on my list of... He is on my list of guests to get, right? There's a handful of guests that I would love to get to join us. Mads Torgerson was on that list, but he's been on once or twice. Check. I think there's a handful of folks that would be amazing to help us grow and learn as a community. John Montgomery was on that list, and we're going to check him off at the end of the month. Are there books for intermediate PowerShell use? I don't know. I'm not as familiar with that with the tool, so I would have to Google it with Bing. How am I enjoying the Visual Studio preview? You know what? I haven't gone in and touched it since the other about a week or so ago. We were using it. I haven't gone back in and used it only because it was slowing me down a little bit while I use OBS, and I do most of my coding live with you, so I don't want to be hampered by that. Now I have picked up. There was one update. I think we're in preview 1, update 1 is what the current version is. So we'll see. We'll see if I need to pick up another one. I'm in no rush. I have it. It's available. I keep an eye on it, and we'll use it when the time's appropriate to switch over, and I will switch over to it. So, hey, Janescu. You got a Santa outfit for Forza Horizon. Nice. Nice. Man, Janescu, you win all kinds of online prizes and things. Okay. I want to get back into our project here. So we've been building this extension that allows us to receive code suggestions from folks in the chat room. And this interacts with Visual Studio. It interacts with a Twitch bot that's listening. So we've got the connection happening. It does listen. It does send information to me in my Visual Studio. We still need to add some other features in here. And we've written a checklist to do a little bit of validation that needs to happen here for this extension. And I think we should work on these 5 validation items today. Line number should be a number in the file. Ensure the existing file is in the solution. Whisper if it doesn't exist. Prompt on Whisper if multiple files match. Accept this as the file name to refer to the current text editor. And handle some sort of project folder file path explicit search. And that's right now is my current in progress item over here. I think I also need to add a quick item here. I need an options dialog. Code suggestions extension. Options dialog. And that needs to be able to select the location, the server location of the Twitch chat bot. So we know where to listen so we can receive that information. Hey, Johan, good to see you. Seems to be a gift for every Forza player. That's still pretty cool. That's still pretty cool. Okay. So I think we just need, and that's weird that how it looks like that. Convert that to an issue. Make that an issue. Yeah. And we need a light bulb gesture. But I just want to work on these 5 little features here real quick. The line number should be a number in the file. Handle the project folder file path explicit search. I think this is an easy one to hit first here. So an idea that was suggested, I think it was Stelzy last time, was if somebody suggests a file, but they specify with a slash in front of it, whatever's before the slash is either a folder or a project name. So I think that's the first piece that we'll look at here. We're making Clippy. No, we're not making Clippy. We could make Clippy, but no, we're not doing that. Actually, I wouldn't mind putting Twitch video right here inside of Visual Studio so that you don't have Clippy. You won't have Clippy down there. You'll have Fritzy. Huh?
Inconceivable!
No, really. We'll put him in there. It'll be amazing.
I love it when a plan comes together.
And everybody will be happy. It would be awesome. We're skipping Clippy and going straight to Bob. No, we're going to Fritz. That's where we're going. Clippy could be super awesome these days with some AI training and ML data. Yes. Yes. How about Robert Tables? How about let's take it just a little bit further? AI training, ML data, and can interact with Roslyn analyzers and live unit tests and give you some of that information. So Clippy equals C# Fritz confirmed.
People know me.
They do. We can
make it so.
We will make it so. I think that's a fantastic idea. Somebody open an issue. Put an issue in that repository. Hey, Svava, and we can. I think that would be so much fun to make. Yeah. Now we're talking. Yeah. I think that would be pretty sweet to build. Okay, let's do a little bit of our validation here. So I like the sound from Clippy to tab to the glass. Oh, when he was... Hello? Yeah. Right? And then you'd look at it and think...
What'd you do?
I don't know. What did I do? The guys are thinking too small. Clippy with modern AI wouldn't be nearly as awesome as Microsoft Bob 2019. Steve 7411. What was the functionality in Microsoft Bob? I never really used Microsoft Bob. Where is the issue list? Good question. Let me grab the issue list here for you, and I will paste that into the chat room. There you go. Is attention sound? Yeah, the attention sound is working. You can run that. It was an attention sound, yes. The attention command is running. You can use that. Bob was a cartoon GUI to make computers easier. Oh. I feel like we could integrate something with Cortana to do that too, you know? Hey, Venkat. It was supposed to be a digital assistant complete with a whole skeuomorphic environment. That's right. That's right. Yeah. Okay. A family room with calendar on the wall, pencil, paper, a piggy bank. Aha. Kind of cool for its time. I don't know why my web browser command isn't opening that up and resolving the title of that YouTube. But it's Rambling Geek. I will trust that one. Microsoft Bob, a tour of Microsoft's forgotten desktop enhancement. I'm not gonna... Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes. I remember this now. Yeah. Oh dear Lord. All right. That's enough of that. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So I'm going to go after this one first. Handle the project folder file path explicit search, because some of these other ones we're going to whisper for these two. I think we also should whisper if there's a validation error, some sort of a validation error on the code that's suggested. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. That's a Wayne Gretzky line. Yeah, Wayne Gretzky, right? All right, let's take a look-see over here. Okay, so the first one here is that I want to do is handle project folder file path explicit search. So on new code, we're receiving the code suggestion, and at this point, I feel like there should be validation. Even before we write to the pane, we should validate that it actually exists. You can't actually miss a shot you don't take. Well, sure, you can't miss it, but
60% of the time, it works every time.
There you go. Statistics. I love them. So, Steve, see that? 60% of the time it works every time. All right. I've got plenty of Anchorman sound feeds all set up here.
And then?
We'll get some other sound feeds from other Will Ferrell movies.
And then?
We'll find some other comedies to grab clips from, I guess.
Right.
Okay, maybe Austin Powers too. All right. So I feel like before I write to the pane and actually notify myself or notify the streamer that there's a piece of code that's been suggested, I feel like I should do the validation before this. I like this idea of Twitch whispering if there are issues. Never thought about that. Yeah. Naslas Finval. What do you guys think about Node.js, Express, and Ruby? Happy to answer your question. I prefer .NET and C#. That's my preference. And that was the way I was even before I started working for my employer. I'm thrilled. I'm honored to be able to work for them and work on .NET and C# and ASP.NET. But I think that Ruby is... oh, thank you, T875H3. I think Ruby is losing favor. It was a tremendous language for its time, but the fact that it was so positioned so anti-Windows lost a little bit of its cross-platform capabilities and detracted from getting lots and lots of developers jumping on the bandwagon. And it is falling out of favor right now. Null Obvious, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. It is a language, and we are... That's right, Taser. Sorry about that. It is a language. You may be thinking about Rails, so a little bit different. But I'm not... I think you may be rolling Ruby and Ruby on Rails together. But Ruby has certainly influenced a lot of other frameworks. Rails, scaffolding, those things are now kind of part and parcel to other frameworks, other languages, other tools. Certainly .NET MV and ASP.NET MVC and Entity Framework and the templating mechanisms that are in .NET were significantly influenced by Ruby. Node.js and Express and JavaScript, tremendous effort there. Really great stuff from folks to take that V8 JavaScript engine and bring it into a server-side framework. Instead, take it out of the browser and get it running on the command line. Express, nice web server. I have some real challenges with the single-threaded nature of it and all the callback mechanisms of it. You run into some serious issues if you've got blocking I/O or blocking networking. That being said, though, it runs on really small devices, and you can set up tons of instances of that Express server without being impacted, and then round robin between them. There's all kinds of ways around that single-threaded model of Express when you need it. I haven't spent enough time around Node.js to call myself an expert. I know enough to be dangerous. My friend Noopcat, you'll see her streaming tomorrow morning, is tremendous with it, especially around IoT devices. Robert Tables here is very good with it. I think I need to spend some time with Node 1 month. You know, maybe we take a theme month and work with Node here in 2019. Don't know. Have to think about that. So it's definitely on my agenda, but I'm a gigantic fan of .NET. I've been using it for almost 20 years and really enjoy the environment, the tools, the productivity that I get coming out of it. I also have some questions and some concerns about the community stability around Node.js. The speed at which things evolve means that if I have any kind of a project that's longer than a month, so basically any enterprise project that uses Node.js, I'm going to get torpedoed version-wise, and stuff will be deprecated before I finish my project. So that's a problem. That's a real challenge. Maybe do a Node-Vember. Maybe do it before that. What exactly is .NET? That's a fine question that I never really. And the left pad thing. Oh, Stelzy. Yeah, left pad. So .NET. Wow. You know what? Maybe I should grab my friend Richard Campbell and have him on and do a history of .NET discussion here. But he's done a couple of really nice videos, stories, podcasts about the history of .NET. .NET was an effort. Let me back out of the code here so you can see me a little bit better. Hey, there we go. .NET was an effort back in the late 90s, early 2000s to unify several different runtimes, several different SDKs, software development kits that were running around Windows and making it tricky for folks to build and use things the same way across different programming languages and different programming models. And there was this thing, the web starting, and the web framework that Microsoft had for it, ASP at the time, didn't run on a compiled language. And people had to Borg together, had to bodge together COM components, COM plus, transaction objects, and it was messy. So to make a common language runtime that could run against Visual Basic or this new language C# that was being built, or even they wanted it to run against Java, but Oracle sued and that didn't happen. So they wanted to have this common language runtime that sat in Windows and supported these new languages, these new application types, and were robust. And Bill Gates was absolutely in favor of object-oriented programming. He had seen some of the things that Java and other languages had been able to accomplish and wanted to see that from Microsoft's tools and technologies. So .NET was born to build Windows applications, and web services. It has since evolved, and it's become pretty much the runtime, the back-end framework that consists of a common language runtime, a base class library that includes up to 250 meg of various base tools, libraries, features that you'll need to build applications. And then you can add on to it with the NuGet package manager now, and work with it using several different languages. And it's fully supported for as long, .NET Framework is fully supported for as long as the version of Windows that it ships on is supported. So Windows 7 is in support for 2 more years, paid support for 2 more years. You'll be able to use, I think it was .NET Framework 4.5 came with Windows 7. No, it can't be. Maybe it was. You'll be able to use that version fully supported for the next 2 years. And then there was movement to say, you know what, we need to make this cross-platform so we can get onto the phones, so we can get in, work better with Xamarin and work on those mobile devices. Have a cloud-based version of .NET that worked better on Azure and scaled better. So they rewrote it, rebuilt it, took what they learned from .NET Framework, split from Windows, so it's no longer a shipping component of Windows, and built .NET Core. And it ships now actually with Red Hat Linux. It ships, I believe it's an APT package that you can download and install on Windows. It is a brew package you can install. Silverlight, was a problem, was one of those fractured .NET frameworks, and it's now, the features of Silverlight are now part of .NET Core. You can't use all of Silverlight. Some of those things are gone, but Blazor and some other things kind of live on and push the legacy of Silverlight. Microsoft did Java better than Sun, and Sun sued .NET and .NET later became part of that. Yep, that's definitely part of it. Do I have any experience with TypeScript? Yes, I do, Crash. Absolutely. Blazor didn't come directly out of Silverlight. Actually, .NET Core came out of Silverlight because Silverlight was built with a runtime that worked on Mac and PC and Windows, Mac and Windows. So they used some of that base learning as some of the foundation of .NET Core and the .NET Core runtime, and that was being used. Will Silverlight ever become open source? No. Nope. I do not believe that's a thing. Yeah. Silverlight was like Java, a good idea with a terrible implementation. I think what you'll see from Blazor is something a little bit more along the lines of what Silverlight was intending to be. Netflix does not use Silverlight. They no longer use Silverlight. They were using it a long time ago. They no longer use it, John Droloon. WPF is open source now, and WinForms. Yes, you're going to see more of that come online over the next few months as more and more of the team finishes converting things. Hey, Alfonso, good to see you. So when you look at all the good things we have taken from older attempts, can you imagine what this will all look like in 5 years? Yes, right? Look back at where we were 5 years ago. We were nowhere near some of the things that we can do today. Amazon Video used Silverlight for a long time, always had issues with it. Yep, now they use HTML5. They use some other things, they a bit of Flash to make that work. Yep. More JavaScript and CSS frameworks. Yeah, lots more. All right, the work Ben Adams does just amazes me. Ben is a tremendous developer. Huge respect for Ben. Ben submitted some source code for us here. And he's a tremendous asset to our technical communities. Really great stuff here. He's even done some work on the Peach Pie framework to help them out. All right, I want to start working on some code here. I want to put the validation here. So validate the file name. Right, we're going to want to validate. I feel like we then need to move this project item bit up here. Validate the, not just the file name, the line number, right? And that's two of the items that we want to validate here. So I'm going to move this project item acquisition up here because I feel like we need to locate that file first. You're going to retire all for rewriting front ends every 6 months. Yeah, that's definitely I think that's a significant issue in our technical community. Web front ends being rewritten every 6 months using the next latest greatest framework. While that's nice, you're keeping up. It would be nice if we could just enhance those frameworks, make them backward compatible so that folks that do have to maintain applications for a business or for any duration don't get left in the dust and end up having to spend way too much time rewriting everything. Rambling Geek says Microsoft is going more open source is the right thing to do. Amen. I would not be at Microsoft if they had the attitude towards open source that was present in the early 2000s. User get username. That's crazy talk. What's crazy talk? Give me some context there. Let's talk about it. Always AMA here. Always ask me anything, and we will get to the bottom of this. What are you talking about there?
Do it!
Tell me what you're talking about. Let's figure this out. And then we'll...
Do it live!
That's right, Bill. We'll do it live. All right. So let's validate the file name, validate the line number. So I think this E file name is going to end up going away. So this is the file name that's being passed in from your suggestion. Sustainable front-end web frameworks. So user get username. Can I just call you user? Let me know about that. I'm going to refer to you. Let me know how you want me to address you. I think we need to look at what folks like the Angular team are doing, where they are trying to be. They're trying to draw a line and be somewhat compatible and provide upgrade paths. I think they're not doing the greatest job with that. When you see some of the schisms between versions of their framework. But they're taking a good shot at it. Not happy with the date format in my cheer comments. The code is being viewed by people all over the world. So we're actually going to turn these into attributes on these methods. And those attributes are in... There's a date component that goes in there that's, I think it's year, month, day. If you overdo backwards compatibility, you will get what Java is today. I don't know. I don't know about that. There's ways to enable backwards compatibility and deprecate. And if you can enable backwards compatibility for a version with an obsolete indicator, so that when you compile, when you run, when you lint your code, you get some sort of an indicator, hey, this version's going to disappear. This feature is going to disappear. Here's how to migrate. Here's a link with migration instructions for the next version. And this is something that we did at Telerik. If there was a feature we were going to deprecate, you had, I think it was 2 versions to migrate, and we would put an obsolete warning in the compiler there so that if you used that feature, we notified you, okay, it's going to disappear in the version that's released at the end of 2018. This is the beginning of 2018 version. By 2019, if you use the version that's released in 2019, it will not be there. Here's how to migrate. Ho ho, hello, DNet78. Node.js is hugely forward compatible. Now, forward compatibility is interesting, and the very modular nature of Node.js, I think, helps enable that. However, the very modular nature of Node.js, I think, is also a hindrance because you end up installing and waiting to download thousands of packages, and the migration of the maintenance of all of those packages becomes very, very tricky. Nick Larson, thanks so much for the host. I appreciate that. Let's see here. I love your idea. I hate having to rewrite all the time. Yeah. Mainly being sarcastic. Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad we have that discussion. Code transformations with ASTs are another option for auto upgrading people. Sure. Yes, I did work at Telerik, or Americans call it Telerik. I used Kendo UI for many things back in the day in Angular 1. Yeah. How are they doing today? Are they still building controls for .NET or trying to get on the .NET Core train? They are. They are building controls for .NET. They're doing JavaScript things. They're doing something called native script to allow you to write JavaScript and compile it for native mobile applications. Neat stuff, Magnus. Check it out. I believe it's completely free to download. And if you use their compilers as a service, I believe are where the subscription is. All right, so let's do this. Validate the file name, and then I think we're going to end up with some other more realistic full file name here that the project will be able to locate with a little bit better here. They added generics way back, and they didn't want to break binary compatibility, so that's why they are in Java so useless compared to C#. That's annoying. Clark.io popping in quick to say hi and happy holidays. Thanks so much. I appreciate the visit, Brian. Great to see you. Take care. Make sure you check out, let's throw a shout out there for Clark.io. Let me do that. So Brian's doing all kinds of great things, of course, talking about Visual Studio Code, Node.js, and doing some development around that. And check him out playing Fortnite with Tim the Tat Man. Am I right, Brian? Huh? Wearing your .NET Ninja Telerik t-shirt yesterday. I wear mine every now and again. Don't wear it on stream. I don't want to show too much favoritism to one vendor or another. But of course, if any company, you know, asks and they want to work with me to do something on stream, I'm happy to engage and oblige. What does native code mean on Android? ARM or DVM? I don't know. Yeah. Hanging with the fam and saw that I was on. Oh yeah, it's Saturday. It's going to be my thing here today, and at about 11:45. So in about an hour, I'm going to read The Night Before Christmas, and about 15 minutes is when I'm setting up, and we will do. I'm not reading a Nightmare Before Christmas. The Night Before Christmas in about an hour, but in 15 minutes or so here, we're going to read Twas the Night Before Die Hard. Eminem want to say hi and wish you a very Merry Christmas. Hey, Eminem's mama, good to see you. Yes, Merry Christmas. Stick around for about 15 minutes at about 11 o'clock Eastern here. We're going to read Twas the Night Before Die Hard. And all through Nakatomi Plaza, not a creature was stirring except John McClane. Something like that. I've got links. I'll show you what I've got here. It'll be fun. Yes, yes. So settle in, kids. I've got a nice fireplace video that we'll start up here in the background, and we'll huddle around the fire, and we'll learn the story of Nakatomi Plaza. And you know Christmas will have started because we'll talk about how Hans Gruber dropped. So, actually, Eminem's mama, we should chat at some point. I would love to do a stream where we have some younger folks join us and help teach them how to write some code together. So that might be fun to do. Let's talk about that. If I know who you are, I'm not going to reveal your name, but reach out to me on Facebook, and maybe we can do something there. So I want to do this, validate the file name real quick here, since before we talk about our friend Hans Gruber. So validating the file name inside of Visual Studio. So I've received a file name from you in chat to be checked against. Now this locate project method is down here. Maybe this is where I actually validate it, because in here is when I actually go through the projects and I do this find files method to recursively look up and see if I can find the file. So maybe the validation is whether or not it can find it. Maybe I just need to make this a little bit smarter. The only fireplace I have is courtesy of Netflix and Apple TV. So I do have a fireplace in the house. It's downstairs. My office is on the second floor of my home. And Mrs. C# Fritz, always, of course, likes a nice fire here at this time of the holidays, and consequently then I've got firewood all around the house, outside, seasoned, all that nonsense. So, but yeah, I'll be building a fire at some point here over the next few days. It hasn't been that. Yesterday it got unseasonably warm, so no Twinkies. We'll have to make do with chocolate. That's not a bad idea at all. So, anyways, I think this locate project might be the right place to do this. Validate on the file name. Where'd it go? I don't need the initialize. Right here. Validate on the file name. So maybe we take this and we make this do that validation on the file name, and then we validate the line number secondary. 41 in Memphis right now. Yeah, what? Here outside Philly, we're at 43, 44 Fahrenheit. Not bad. I have to check the projects and the open tabs to look for the file. Well, that's what locate project does. It spins through the solution to find the file. 47 in Charlotte. What am I turning into the Weather Channel here? I'm going to sound like Al Roker here. Your temperatures right now, it's 41 in Philly, 41 in Memphis, 47 in Charlotte. That's Fahrenheit, of course, for all you North Americans. For the rest of the world, it's like 10. Open files should get first priority. Get some G Fuel focus.
Do it live.
We will. We will. 10 minutes and we'll do it live. Coffee first. So this is a, today's coffee is a Starbucks, what was it? Cinnamon Dolce. Ooh. Every time I say Dolce, I feel like I'm so sophisticated. Pardon me, do you have the Cinnamon Dolce? Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, the Caramel Dolce Latte? Oh, thank you, yes. And you can't say Caramel Dolce Latte without slipping into a French accent. The Caramel Dolce Latte, please. Thank you. It's so wonderful. Thank you so much. Ooh. You drove in hyperspace when I came home from Microsoft Flux Christmas party. If you make a new file, it can exist in a tab without being written to disk, at least outside of a temp file somewhere. No. When you're in a solution, it does get written to. Hang on. If we add a new file, right? Add a new item here, and I just choose whatever, right? Just choose a class, right? That's written to disk, right? Where is it? Open folder in File Explorer. Right, it's right there. If you do a file new outside of a project, outside of this open solution, you're right. You're right, Steve. It doesn't write it to disk at first. You're right about that. But when you do have a solution open, it does write it to disk. So, good point there. But I think for what we're doing, I can kind of expect there to be a project open. And in fact, when you look at how this extension works in the initialization, no, it's not in the initialization. It's in the demands up here in the attributes. A solution must exist. So this attribute, provide auto load, requires that the solution exists before it tries to do anything. You tested it by making a new text file. Yes, when you're making a new text file, you're right. But if you make one with a project open, right, then you're going to run into an issue. If I said file new, right, if I did file new, file, right, and I said text file, yes, this isn't saved to disk anywhere. But if you add a file to the project, it will. I don't know how many folks do this when they're in a solution versus right-click and add file to project. M&M say Robotics Club has researchers, builders, and programmers. Awesome stuff, M&M's mama.
Wow.
Love hearing that. We'll have to, I'd love to talk to them and see what we could do on stream to help show young folks how much cool it is. How much cool? how much fun it is to write code and do some of these neat things. Desert Griffin. I built my own template for Vue.js and .NET Core 2.2 with Webpack 4 since the official template is no longer maintained, and Mark Pierzak's template is too verbose for my understandings. Nice learning experience, especially for Webpack development. Do you have a link to that? Is that something you've shared, Desert Griffin? Is that something we can kind of promote and share? Let me know. Binary Nexus asks, what's my favorite third-party Visual Studio extension? What extensions do I have installed? Let's start there. That's not third-party. LiveShare is probably my favorite extension. Just tremendous what you're able to do with that in Visual Studio. These are first-party. Web Compiler is technically third-party, but it's Mads, and Mads works on the team, so I wouldn't call that third-party. This is kind of cool. This is the Discord presence, rich presence indicator for Visual Studio. So if you look in Discord right now, where's my Discord? And if you look at my status, it should say, yeah, right now it says streaming because I'm streaming. But if I'm not streaming, it'll tell you that I'm in Visual Studio and working. Your favorite is the Roslyn Nader. Epic build music is great. They'll be back for Die Hard. So I'm third party though. I mean, I don't really have any third party extensions installed, and I kind of do that on purpose so you can see what a stock install of Visual Studio is. I used to be a big fan of ReSharper. CodeRush is getting a little bit more of my attention these days. They're both great tools, but I think CodeRush is doing some very innovative things now, and I think the ReSharper folks are retraining and rebuilding it so that they can better support Rider, their user interface. So, yeah, if you use Discord, having that in full Visual Studio is kind of nice to be able to show that information in Discord. There's a Discord extension for Visual Studio Code that'll let you actually open and be in Discord chat and integrate with Visual Studio LiveShare in Visual Studio Code. So all that completely free, easy to use. So, all right. So if I turn this around so we update the file name over here. Now this returns a IVS hierarchy, VS object, and a path. The full path. You know what? I'm going to use a feature in C# 7 called deconstruction, where I'm going to take this tuple that's returning the Visual Studio object and the path, and I'm going to decomposition, I think it is. So the first one is an IVS hierarchy. So let's call IVS hierarchy. Let's call this one project item. Yeah. And then let's have another one that's the file name. String.empty. Okay. And then, yeah, I know. You want that to be a var. Let's take this, and now I can say project item file name equals that. And this way it'll deconstruct, it'll decompose the output from locate project into these two variables, and then I can use those going forward. So the path that was right here, I'll turn into just file name, and this one I'll turn into just project item. Okay, so now this is the error task, and it's going to hopefully decompose. That sounds wrong. Deconstruct properly into those. So if I want to validate, it'd be easier to just throw an error here. So let's catch some sort of an exception. We'll figure out what that exception is. And then we'll want to whisper back to the person in chat about the error. And we'll figure out what that error is and what that whisper looks like. I think the real need for ReSharper ended at the time Roslyn analyzers appeared. Stelzy, I think you're on the right path there. Roslyn analyzers are definitely happening and getting stuff much more easier to work with. Gotta run. The dog needs flea tick protection, and the vet will not be open until Wednesday. Take care, Binary Chef. We've got about how many minutes? Oh, 2 minutes, and we will read it. Twas the night before Die Hard. Binary Chef. Yeah. All right. So if we try this and we catch, so if I come down now to my locate project, and now before I get too far into this, I feel like I need to do that split. If there's a slash in there, let's try to look for that project name first. So I need to get the solution, and I need to get a hook on. This is the Visual Studio user interface, and then this is the output file list that I'm actually going to write files into. Yeah, okay. I think we can also do, right, if the file isn't found, right, we could say if file name, if string is null or empty. Now it's going to be I want to throw an exception if there's no files in that list. Handle that differently. There we go. There's my reminder. Just triggered. So we'll figure out exactly how to do this. I feel like, right, where I'm doing return file list 0, if file list dot count equals 0, throw new, I'm just going to make it an exception here, and then we'll start the story. Unable to locate a file. The file. Requested. We'll make that a little bit more compelling here in just a minute. Is Visual Studio Live Share using Azure Relay? So should use code suggestion, use it too. I don't know. That's an interesting question. It is on GitHub, but I feel it is not professionally ready as it is a primer. It's just for my learning experience, but I can shoot over a link to have a look. I don't really want people to associate my Twitch account with my GitHub. Okay, then no need. Don't worry about it. Stool Penner, hello. But I think we're gonna pause for a minute here. Pause the music. Pause the music. Stop the music. Thank you. I think it's time for a little holiday cheer. And this was absolutely requested. This was the #1 story requested, the first story requested, when I said, hey, let's do some Christmas stories. And it was suggested a week or so ago, hey, why don't you read some Christmas stories? You've got a nice voice for that kind of thing. Let's do something with that. So let's set up a nice fire over here. There we go. Nice crackling fire. Just the way. Gather all ye around. It is story time. All right. This is the story. 'Twas the night before Die Hard. And this was put together by Spinning Orca on Reddit. And I'm going to drop the link here so that you can get the story for yourself if you'd like to. That fire did start real quick. Absolutely. We didn't start the fire, but it's always burning as long as the world's been turning. I'm not going there. Okay. 'Twas the night before. Here, gather round, children, and let's learn about the story of John McClane and know that Christmas is truly starting because Hans Gruber dropped from Nakatomi Plaza. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the tower, the terrorists were plotting, the hostages cowered. The bonds were all held in a bank vault so tight, but Hans Gruber was planning to steal them that night. McClane had flown in to visit his wife, not knowing this party would have so much strife. Holly was there, John's wife. Though estranged, they argued a bit. Heated words were exchanged. Making fists with his toes, John tried to find peace. The bad man came in, the party did cease. McClane was safe up the stairs he had run. Hans didn't know John would ruin his fun. John had no shoes, but he didn't care. He knew what to do. No time for despair. Takagi was dead. They needed him no more. His body lay lifeless, blood on the floor. Argyle didn't hear the shots that rang out, the music so loud, you would have to shout. John pulled the alarm. He thought they were saved. Hans called off the fire department. The situation was grave. Tony found John, but McLean defeated that foe. Now he has a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho. John uses a radio and contacts police. Sergeant Al Powell shows up, gunfire to increase. Hans soon realizes John's hard to beat. He wasn't lying about Marco. He's down on the street. The detonators are missing. Carl is miffed. The SWAT team shows up, their action plan swift. McLean tries to warn them, tells them to stay back. They all got shot, trying to attack. John blew up the third floor, saving cops' lives. The press gets it on tape while the FBI arrives. Trust is betrayed. Ellis tells all about John. John won't surrender. Now Ellis is gone. John and Hans cross paths upstairs. Hans tries to be sly, but John knew his affairs. Hans and Carl get what they wanted so fast. John's feet are shredded. They shot up the glass. The power is out. Theo gets into the vault. Choppers are inbound. A surprise assault. John went back where him and Hans met. The roof's wired to blow. We have a new threat. The sleaze reporter put John's kids on the news. Holly is John's wife. This news Hans can use. Carl finds John, wants revenge for his brother. Hung by his neck, John defeats another. John goes to the roof, sends the hostages inside. Hans blows up the roof. Both FBI agents died. John jumps off the roof to save his own life, only to find that Hans has his wife. John goes after Hans, who shot in the fight. Hans goes out the window, his very last flight. Holly is safe, the bad guy's all dead. Al shoots Carl right square in the head. The reporter asks John about how he feels. Holly punches his face. The spotlight she steals. The bad guy's all dead, so have no more fears. Let me read that again. The bad guy's all dead, so have no more fears. If this is their idea of Christmas, be here for New Year's. What do you think? How do we do? How do we do there, friends? So there you go. That was The Night Before Die Hard. Everybody's favorite Christmas movie. All right. You like that? Good? Plays Die Hard soundtrack softly in the background. Yeah, not too bad. That's the wrong song. Not that song. Go back to, we were playing Gold. Ah, that was fun. Maybe we can turn that into a thing. I should put out a Christmas album. Johan, thank you so much.
Merry Christmas.
Thanks so much for that kind cheer. Of course, we will make a donation to Girl Develop It. Yay! I don't know why Automod caught you for saying put out. I don't know why. I kind of know why. That's a shame. All right. Time to switch to G Fuel. Let's get this done. The movie was on Galen's Christmas wish list. That's phenomenal.
Wow.
I wish I could have that on mine. But Mrs. Fritz...
Throw me a frickin' bone here.
She didn't. I am finishing up my Blue Ice G Fuel. I've got maybe 2 or 3 servings left of that. In my my TwitchCon shaker. Fantastic. Stool Penner. Seen the movie just 2 days ago. Yeah, love that movie. And then I still have 'Twas the Night Before Christmas to read, and we'll read that before I wrap up today. Okay. So we were talking about locating files, throwing errors appropriately when it can't find the file, and making the locating files, this bit here, smarter, and being able to return information appropriately that can be used to communicate and nail down exactly which file we're working on. 24 minutes. Got a quick question. Is there a way to glue a WinForm on the desktop so even Windows D won't hide it and will stay below any windows? Is there a way to keep a window from being minimized? I think you can turn off in Windows Forms. I believe if you turn off the minimize feature and you set the size, I think there might be an API you need to hit also, like a Windows API that's not a .NET API. You might be able to do that directly. But if you turn off the minimize button, you turn off window resizing, it'll at least get you to the point where they can't right-click and minimize. Speaking of Automod, that is not as bad as Rainbow Six Siege. Their latest in-game chat mod won't let you use the letter V for some reason. Okay, that's weird. That's weird, Binary Nexus. I can't back that one up. All right, let me scroll down here a little bit. So the first suggestion was it'd be great. Let me go back up here. That's fine on the note. So it would be great if we could support, right, if it's in project name, folder, file name. We want to be able to support that type of structure. And I think this should be folder star, right? So that it's 0 to many times. Look at that. It's like a regular expression. Think of YouTube copyright automation detection compared to Automod. YouTube automation is awful. Their copyright detection it's not very accurate. Okay. So if I'm looking in this structure, right, and project name is also, that's a 0 or 1, so I'm going to put a plus on that. So if there's a slash, a forward slash, do we do forward slash or backward slash? Nothing says Christmas like a regular expression. Yeah. Come on, I've got to have a good clip.
You can do it!
Regular expressions, they're wonderful. What about backslashes? I think we need to normalize slashes. Let's start there. Backslash is not bad, but I think we normalize it. Streamers mislabel the stream. Oh, that's terrible. That's something that Twitch is always kind of patrolling, is correct labeling for a stream. I think I want to take the file name that's submitted and I want to normalize to forward slashes. Because you're not going to have two different direction slashes. Now you've got all the Christmas problems and regular expressions. Rickety rocket. Yeah, it's
Inconceivable!
But regular expressions can be our friends, right? They're not that bad. They're actually kind of nice. Let's make this a normalized file name. And let's just do file name dot replace. And let's replace any backslashes with forward slashes. And now it's going to give me... Yeah. I need to make these literals, don't I? Oh, no. Now, see, that's just wrong. Do I have to put two of those? And then one of these? Like that? There we go. It's fun. They only want to play. Backslashes are a bit cruel to do in a regex pattern. Yes. I agree with you, Robert. Regex is amazing, but it is not intuitive, and there are some great tools on the web that help you with regular expressions. I would love to be able to bring them in and have them almost as a wizard whenever I see new regex, and be able to right-click and step through and kind of have a wizard that helps me through that, because this is Visual Studio. I should have visual developer tools to help me with that. If Twitch enforces the terms of service for mislabeling label issue, it could be as bad as YouTube. Nah, they're not going to do that. I have to use regex helpers testers every single time. I actually set up unit tests for all my regular expressions. I wouldn't mind a stream dedicated to regex for us mortals. That's not a bad idea, aspiring DevOps guru. That's not a bad idea at all. I'm going to take that down as a note. For a regex focused stream. Maybe I can find somebody who's an expert in regex to talk about it. Regex for mortals. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Let me see what I can do about that. There's definitely something we can do. And, of course, our friend Mary Jo Foley on Windows Weekly wanted to do Notepad Conf.
It's illegal in 9 countries.
It is. We don't need that. Great tools in Visual Studio 2019 for regex. Yes, they're getting better. They are absolutely getting better. So we're going to normalize the file name so that all of the backslashes turn into forward slashes. So now, if there is a forward slash in there, it might be the project name. It might be the folder name. Monster of a regex with a colleague. Yeah. What do I do when I'm out of ideas for new programming projects? Asks Draco. I talk to my friends and see what projects they're working on and see if there's something that we can collaborate on together. But I've always got, it's either I've got ideas or I'm building off of ideas that have been submitted by you. So some of the things around validation that we're talking on here, excuse me, these were suggested by folks in a previous stream. And they make sense. These are things that are good to do. So let's see what we can do to identify and work through these. So if they specify a project name, well, if they specify something before the slash, it's either a project name or it's a folder. So let's look for it as the project name first. Let's see. Let's do string project name equals file name dot split. We're gonna split on that forward slash. Well, I need to know if there's more than one of those. No, the world's not going to normalize backward slashes for directories. No. No, no, no. You're not going to see that for a while. Just because there's so many file allocation table devices out there. FAT tables, right? You're not going to see that for a while. Yeah, I want to do like file name dot split on, right? On that, and I'm going to need to put an @ sign in front of it. No? Why am I... Yeah, this needs to be character like that. Right. So, if the count... No, it's length, isn't it? Yeah. If that is greater than 1... then we need to do something with it and figure out what the project name is. It's going to be the 0th item if there's more than one. File name dot split. So we're doing it twice, which feels weird. Now I could do a regular expression here. I could. To try and grab each one of the segments as a group. I could. And with the talk about regular expressions here, you've got me thinking I should do a regular expression. I should do a regular expression. I should do it.
You're about to get a serious beatdown.
No, I'm going to just write a regular expression. It's not going to be that bad. We're going to have a good time. It's a regular expression. It can't be that bad. So let's do this. Regular expression tester. Let's find, not regexpal. This one. I like this one. Regexer. I use this one a lot. So far, text that we're looking at is, it's not going to start with a /. Famous last words. Hang on. Let me do this right. Famous last words. That didn't work. Oh, it's over here. No, that's going into this. That's going over to that. Test. No, that's not going out. There it is. Hello. Famous last words. Okay, not bad. I could do normalized file name dot split. No. Path get file name. It's not a path. Because we're going to pass in something that looks like project folder file name. This isn't a path. So I do want to grab the file name off the end, but I also, if there's a project name, I want to grab the project name, and I want to grab any folders that are specified as well. So I think we can do a regular expression here to make that a little easier to work through. So let's consider if we've got something that looks like console app 1 / test was the name of our folder, and then program.cs. So for that to work, right, we're going to be splitting on the /. And then we want to also use capture names. No, I don't. No. Cheat sheet. There we go. I'd love to be able to use... That's a capture, non-capturing. That's a capture. I want to do a named capture. Okay. So I'm going to be doing something where it's going to be... it's text, right? Text is /w. And it's also going to include the periods. So how do I be sure that I get the period also? So I want to do a group /w or period. No, I don't want to match it. Yeah, okay, we're good on that. All right, so I've captured this. Is it always expected to be project name file path? No, it's not. I don't have to escape the period because it's inside. All right, so I'm going to have that a certain number. Well, I'm going to have it more than, right? So it's there, right? And if it matches the file name, then it's going to end with $. Matches the end of the string. Okay, so I've got, that's the file name. So if I want that as a named capture group, actually I put the $. Inside of that. Right, so now it captured that. So if we call that the file name, right? So regular expression named capture, right? Named capture groups. Question mark name group. Okay. Yeah. It looks like they're putting it inside of angle brackets. Yeah. Named capture groups. Oh, yeah. Right, so if we do this, and we call this file name. The named capture group feature is not supported by this flavor of regex. Well, change it, damn it. It's not supported by JavaScript. So we're on PCRE, right? Server types of regular expression. So there we go. Okay, named capture group captures a group Capturing group named file name. All right, so we got that. Match one or more of the preceding. Yep, okay. So we got program. All right. So if there's something before that.
Thanks for considering the regex stream.
Thank you, aspiring DevOps guru, for that fine cheer. And we'll make a donation to Girl Develop It. That actually puts you in the #1 spot for our stream right now. And did we have another cheer earlier? I want to make sure I captured those. Did I because I may have missed it. I want to make sure. Yeah, there it was. Johan had one. I need to put down inside of our code here. Cheer 100. Right from Johan B. And 12/22/2018. Cheer 1500. That was from Aspiring DevOps Guru. And that puts you in the lead for our Bits for Bytes. The name capture groups is also completely new to Stelzy. Yeah. All right. There. Yeah, I got Johan's. Fantastic. But Aspiring DevOps Guru, that puts you in the lead for Bits for Bytes for this month. And Moz, I still need to get in touch with. The holidays has kind of screwed up my scheduling here. But we're going to have Moz was our lead cheerer last month, and we're going to do a pair programming stream with her. And whoever leads at the end of this month, we'll set up a pair programming stream with them as well. Let me save that. Let's go back to our test here. So if there's folders before this, the possible project name is going to be the first bit before a slash, right? So it would be starting from the beginning, and it needs to end with a slash. Like this. Unescaped /. Yeah, I know. We need to do that. Okay. So it needs to match that. And then it's going to be kind of like this. Right? So from the beginning, some word character or a dot, some number of times, and then a /. And then there's in here I need something about the path. Love seeing the emotes in chat. Thank you for sharing. So I need to, right, if I didn't have test in there. Oh, yep, there, that works, right? So, no, not, stop it. Details. So match 0 is the whole thing. Group 1 is this. File name is that. So group 1, right, I could name this. No. Right? Project name. Right, so project name and then file name. So I've got those two. Right. So the next part is if there's multiple possible groups in between, which I feel like needs to be like this, with another one of these. Right? And okay, that still matches. Look. That still matches for this. Group 2 is empty, right? And if we call this, right, if we call this folders, right? So folders is empty. So then if this is /test, oh, we didn't match anything now. Damn. I would have thought that would have... Oh, wait. I got to get rid of the caret. Now it matches. So now I've got test. So then if this is also test 2, right? So folders only matches test 2. Well, that's not going to be right. That's not. Is the dot in the first group? Oh, you're right. We're not. Well, no, we could have a dot in the project name. We could. But you're right. There's multiple groups here, and it's matching it 0 or more times. But it's only capturing this one. Right, let me zoom in there a little bit, make it easier for you to see if you're on a phone or something. So I think we're right, I would have thought. Oh wait. No, that's fine. That's fine. I also want to make sure that I'm not capturing, right? I'm not capturing a slash. There we go. Now I've got the full folder set. Yeah, Stool Penner, you're right. All right, so that should also work if I only have one folder. Good. It should work if I have no folders. Good. It should also work. Okay, that's a problem. So this is a 1. It should be, right? Plus is 0 or 1. 1 or more. Oh, no. 0 or 1 is question mark. There we go. Let me change that in my notes here. Not plus. Question mark. Okay. So there, and now it'll capture file name and the whole way across, right? So if I back these up, I think I'm capturing everything properly. You probably want to split in C by the slash to get the correct list of folders. Yes, I think you're right, Stool Penner. Yes. I think you're absolutely in C#. Do that split. Yeah, that's a great point, Stool Penner. So I'm going to take this expression and let's copy that and use this now inside of our tools. I'm going to scroll this down. Let's see. Let's do. Okay, public sealed class. All right. Internal static. Is it? No, it's regex, isn't it? And then this is going to be file name regex equals new regex. All right, now's the pattern. Now, because I put the @ out there, that makes these slashes literal, so I don't need to go through and re-escape them. So I think I'm okay there. And by making it a static, it's allocated once it's created, and I don't need to rebuild it each time. I don't need to, because allocating that regex takes a little bit of time. Now, my security colleague, Barry Dorns, you may know him as Blowdart. He shows up occasionally here on Twitch as that Blowdart. Oh, good idea. Make it read-only. He'll point out that using regular expression, internal static, read-only, regular expressions with untrusted code being passed in may cause a problem. But it's easy to, it's apparently easy to create circular references in there and get it to just burn through your processor. All right, let me, new code suggestion. All right, so it's down here where, I didn't do that. All right, so there's the normalized file name. So let's create something here, matches. And we'll do, what did I call it? File name regex dot match normalized file name. All right, so this is going to return, yeah, a match. The project name is going to be match.captures. I don't want the index. There's a way to get returns the name of the capturing group represented by the current instance. Okay, so I'm going to go, is it captures dot, shoot. Please use either file name or file name. I mixed that on 169. File name. Oh boy. All right. Let's make that. Let's capitalize those. So this returns the match. And if we go back and look at this. So we have match 0 and then we have the, oh, they're named groups. All right. So match dot groups dot, darn it, there it is, group name, which will be there we go, project name, like that. All right. And I want to say, oh yeah, success, right? That'll tell me if it's actually there. So if that is successful, then I'm going to want to, I'm going to want to output the value that it captured. Otherwise, empty. You could spin up a thread for the regex parse and add a timeout, maybe. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. That timeout is not right. To run this on a background thread, these two. And then do a thread join. Yeah. Run regex match on a background thread and timeout after 5 seconds. Maybe shorter. 5 seconds is really long. Need to be null safe on groups. Groups is always there. Success, the group will always be there. Success will be false, though, if it doesn't find it. See, now this is where I think I would put together a test, a unit test, and kind of spell out all of these scenarios. And I'm feeling like that's a good way to go here to write this, because I always mess this up. Regex code suggestions. Let's start there. We'll rename this later as need be. Public class. Right, and I am using... Nope, that's the mock stuff. I don't need that. Right, this is Yep, X unit. Okay. So I don't need that. Let me copy over, because it's easier to copy it. That regular expression. Okay. Control dot. Public void. Can get project name. Given project name, then locates it. And put a fact decorator on this. So you can see already I have live unit testing running here. So it'll wake up and tell me if this works. Wanted to start cooking half an hour ago. Thank you, Regex. Sorry. All right, so if we have right if we're saying console app 1 / program.cs, we should be able to get the project name out, right? And I was doing that with something that looked like this. Assert.equal. I'm expecting console app 1 and its project name that we're testing against. Let's change that to SUT. This will run and we should see. Okay, that didn't work. Broke it. Why? Okay, code suggestions. Not sure why this failed down here. Get stream data. Oh, I am streaming. All right, so this fails. Console app 1, actual console app 1 / Okay, so it returns the / also. May use theory. Ooh, Moz, that's a great idea. Theory lets you pass in. Right? Doesn't that let you pass in different properties? Different data points? Right? No, not MSDN. Just move the / out of the capture group. Let me do this. XUnit theory. Let me make sure I'm using this right. And then we'll take a look at that. Theory and then inline data. And then let's call this string file name. Yep. Inline data. And let's start with this. Ta-da. And then we can turn that into file name. And now it'll run and... Right, can we give this a name? No. Assert R equal... string expected project name. Console app. Right, and then this should be expected project name. Maybe use member data and have a method to generate the values. That might be a little bit too much for what I'm just trying to mock up here. But the project name, we need to drop that / off the end. So maybe we do this. Match groups, project name value. Yeah, I don't want a substring. That's gonna... Because substring, I'm gonna end up having to reach in. Ah, trim end. Thank you. And I can tell it, yeah, trim off That ending slash. Now, why didn't it run? Run. Do it again. No data found for it. Yeah, data's right there. Come on, punk. Come on, punk. Run. Come on, come on.
Do it!
Thank you. All right. So that will get that. If there's also test in here, should get that also. See, now, this is a problem with live unit testing. I've got the different inline datas here, and it's not actually running these. So I'm going to need to run over here. Nuts. I didn't want to run all. Well, run all will work. Right, I also want to get, if there's multiple here, so those worked. Brought back properly. Good. Yeah, that doesn't exist anymore. You should clear out of there, buddy. Okay. Public void given no project name. Now this, I feel like there's only one scenario here. Right? What do we get there? Oh, it's almost time to read the next story. I want an empty. And I want to fire in just that. And it should return empty string for the project name. Good. All right. So that syntax works. I need to put the .trim end here to get the project name. So I'll just copy that. Okay. Now if I have folders, right, I want to isolate and be able to pull out that folder name. So I think I want to do almost the exact same stuff here. Let's call this locate folder name. I feel like I need to change this to locate project name. If I have a folder name but not a project name, that's something different. You're right that we're going to need to isolate. And right, if there's only one thing before the slash, we need to determine if it's a project or a folder. And I think that happens somewhere right here, where if there is something before the slash, let's test to see if that's a project name in the solution. If it isn't, it's a folder name. If it is, it's a project. So, but right now we're just trying to isolate these objects. So let me pull this out. And we expect to find test Lord Fulkins. Welcome, Lord Fulkins. All right. So, right, that doesn't work now. I'm going to be grabbing folders is what I'm looking for my group now. Not fuddlers. Folders. That looks like it's all green. That it found test, and then it found when there's multiple folders here. Right? Let's rename this to folders. And rename this to expected folder names. Okay. It could be ambiguous if there's a folder with the same name as a project. If that's the case, then if that's the case, then we need to prompt. Then we've got duplicate, we need to prompt, and we need to figure out which one to do. But I promised that I'm gonna pause here for a second. And it's time to read the last story that we're going to do here today. Tell your friends, get the family, let them know, hey, Fritz is about to read a story. I need to go to here. Hello. Let me go back to our fireplace. Oh, it's so nice and warm. Light the fire, yeah. Absolutely, Robert Tables. Light that back up. It's nice having virtual fire. Less chance of burning down the stream. All right, now where did I do with... Nope, that's... Don't read that one. That one's the Die Hard one. Don't read the Die Hard one again. All right, so I'm going to read A Visit from St. Nicholas, or more commonly known as The Night Before Christmas, or 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. Named after its first line. It's a poem that was first published anonymously in 1823. Later attributed to Clement Clark Moore, who claimed authorship in 1837, about 14 years later. However, some commentators now believe the poem was written by Henry Livingston Jr. Either way, it was originally published anonymously. Big thanks to that long-past author, and I think we've appropriately accredited both of them. All right. Hey, Crows, good to see you. We're going to read 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. You missed us reading 'Twas the Night Before Die Hard. It's on the VOD, and we'll have it available later on YouTube. Here we go. Let me wet my whistle here. All right. 'Twas the night before Christmas when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled down for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from the bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters, and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new-fallen snow gave the luster of midday to objects below, when what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. With a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be St. Nick. More rapid than eagles his coursers there they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen, to the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, now dash away, dash away, dash away all. As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle mount to the sky, so up to the house top the coursers they flew, with the sleigh full of toys, and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my hand and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard of his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke it encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk, and laying his finger aside his nose, and giving a nod up the chimney, he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard his exclaim, ere he drove out of sight, Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Thank you so much, pair programmers. Everybody who's watching, maybe you're on YouTube, maybe you're watching on Facebook, maybe you're watching on a Twitter clip. Thank you so much for joining me in the past year. We've been about 13 months into the stream here, and every day that I do a stream, I feel so blessed that you join me. And I wish you and your family this holiday season, whether you're a believer or you're not, that's fine, but I wish you nothing but peace and good tidings this winter, this December. And I wish you a happy, merry 2019. Let's write a little bit more code here, and then we'll call it a day. We'll send the video over to YouTube so that folks can catch up there. Yes, this is an amazing community. Robert Tables, amen to that. This is a very a tremendous community here. It's terrific to be here with you. There's so much that we're able to do because we join together and do such great things. And like I said, whether you're a believer or you're not, whether you're a .NET developer, a Linux developer, a Windows developer, I wish you nothing but best of times, peace, good fortune in the year ahead. And it's always and please, if you do have an accomplishment, make sure you come back and share that with us. We want to celebrate together. This community is always thrilled to hear when folks accomplish great new things in your professional life or in your hobby life as a developer, as a technologist. Thank you, Robert Tables. Perry at Digital Ox, thank you. Fleischkotze, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It looks German, so I'm going to throw a little German on there. Johan, yes, absolutely. And thank you, Aspiring DevOps Guru. Ancient Coder, absolutely. Thank you for those kind emotes there. All right, let me die down the fire here. Put that out. Ah, look at that. Easy to put out a fire when you can just hit the close button, right? Let's see if we can just wrap up this little bit here for the validation and get an error reported appropriately, and then we'll wire up whispering later. Of course, Tuesday is Christmas. I will not be streaming on the holiday, but I will be. Maybe I'll come back on Wednesday. We'll see what Mrs. C Sharp Fritz says, if she has some things planned for Wednesday. But I will definitely be back on Thursday and Friday. Friday we should have Fairy Wings joining us for this what's it called? Beginners development with HTML. We missed connecting with Steffi because of the holidays. Both she got wrapped up in some last minute running before the holiday, so did I, and we had to cancel yesterday. We're going to get her back on in the future. All right, let me wrap up. I'm going to go through one final Pomodoro here with the Gold song. Caliscope says, from France, discovered me on Twitch some time ago. Love the way I think. Thank you so much, Caliscope. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you, and I'm thrilled. I'm honored to be able to work with you, everybody here on this stream. Nightshade Dude, thank you for that kind subscription. I appreciate that, and we'll make a donation to Girl Develop It. Let's see here. All right. Better not let this go to waste. Not at all. Now you get a little purple mug next to you, and you'll get the .NET bot that you can use everywhere here on Twitch. All right. Let's so I've located my folder names, and I can if it's there, if it's properly structured, now I've got things broken out, and I should be able to identify the folders like this, and I think I even want to split it. Right, coming out of there. Down there. So there's the project name, and split that. Now the project name might not be the project name. I'm not going to let this go to waste at all. We're good, Nightshade Dude. The project name may be a first folder if it doesn't find it, and that's okay. We'll identify. We'll figure that out. If it's success, I wanted to trim it off the end, and then I actually want to split here. There we go. On that /. Otherwise, it's going to be a new string that we're returning. Right? Why doesn't it? 0. That's better. Okay. Yep, you can use those special emotes in other channels. Absolutely. Okay, so I've got the folders, I've got the project name. So now when I get down into here, right, I want to do a test to see if the project was found. If project name does not equal string.empty. Yeah. So this project here, and then it does the file list. Find files on that. So it continues going through all of the projects. I think this needs to be on the other side of the else. Because we don't touch the project further down here. Yeah. Okay. If it does not equal string.empty... Twitch subscription problem. I've got a similar problem happening now. Gosh. If the project name... so if we look through DTE solution projects and then item, it's an object on the index, and that's it looks like I can't do a find. Can I do one of these? No. So I would have to go through it anyway. So maybe if we take this, and if the project name, 30 more minutes till my car is done. Gotta love, oh, airbag recalls. Oh, that's awful. Yeah. Airbag recalls are a pain in the neck with automobiles. I've got one outstanding right now on my car that I need to address. I don't want to rewrite this code several times. So if, let's see, if project name does not equal string.empty, so if there is a project name and DTE solution projects, well, you know what? I can still grab this first, right? And then I can say, and this project dot name, yeah, dot equals equals project name, string comparison, invariant culture, ignore case. Then we're going to do that file list add range. Else if project name equals string.empty, then we're going to walk through. Ooh, hang on. We're going to do this same thing down here. But after this, we're going to do a break because it's that one project. We found it. Break. Exit it now. Third time between both vehicles. Oh, man. Oh, that's annoying. Third time going back on that. Okay, so we'll find files on this project, and that should go through. Right? And I feel like, right, this exception down here is if we don't find any files. Over here. So that was actually this bit. Ensure existing file in the solution. Whisper if not exists. So let's actually create an exception here. Create some way to raise these exceptions back out. So I'm going to add a folder here. for exceptions. And then I'm going to create some strongly typed exceptions for this. So let's create one. Project file not found. Exception. This way I can detect and have something that's a little bit cleaner as to exactly what type of issue this was. So I will inherit from an exception. And if you haven't seen this in C# or .NET before, you have these strongly typed exceptions so that when you are catching the issue here, right? So if we make this project file not found, right? I don't even need to give it that. I can just handle this coming back out. Not on the command, right? So this has been raised here, right? So I can receive a project file not found exception, and then do something appropriate here. Oops, I forgot the catch. And then, right, whisper the appropriate, this file doesn't exist. What do you want to do with this? What if I have a folder in one project named the same as a different project? Right, so the question, Moz makes a good point here. If I have a folder, let's just mock that up. Right, so if I have a folder here inside of test called fritz.livecoding2, right, now I've got a folder that has the same name as another project. That gets a little confusing, and then I can, right, I'm going to have to figure that out later. Was that the folder that was being referenced, or was that the project? Let's cross that. That's going to be interesting. That's definitely a scenario to address. Let's put a note in there. Need to handle if project name matches a folder name in another project. Good catch, Moz. I think it's way more convenient to just catch exception and leave no description. If I can't figure it out later, my program has a new feature. Oh, Valder Gaga. No, 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 no. Somebody else is going to be looking at your code. Being a little bit more explicit, a little bit more descriptive in what's causing that exception and raising that back up is, even if you're just catching exception, but being that little bit more descriptive there is going to help the next person be able to identify and raise an appropriate message. I'm going to end up wanting to do different things based on what happened, right? I'm going to have multiple files found exception. That's going to be a thing. I'm going to need to figure that out. Right, at some point I'm going to have line does not exist exception. And we'll need to figure out what to do with that. So, are they going to bump your car version as a patch or minor version? Yes, I have the 2015 Lamborghini. So we're gonna replace the airbags in the driver's side, and you're gonna have a 2015.1. Thank you so much. Glad you're doing that for me. Yes. Robert Tables is a built-in SQL injection attack. He's right there, ready to inject. Thank you so much, LolWend00 and Valder Gaga. I appreciate you joining us. 4621 on the rainbow beard gauge there. When we hit 5,000, we're going to dye this rainbow colored, and it's going to be amazing. I'm just going to leave these in one file for right now. We'll bust them out when we add new features to it. But for right now, I'm going to leave it just as one file. We'll figure that out in the future. So we need to take care of this. We need to turn into an extra thread that comes back. We're blocking and waiting on. We'll need to figure that out. So now as we go through the projects, this should, if it finds that project name, grab just that project. Or continue spelunking through them all. And if there is a project name and it doesn't equal, yeah, it won't find it. I feel like we need to identify the project name first. So much rainbow. Yes. I'm going to need to get some Skittles sound bites when we do that stream. I think we also need to do if file list.count greater than 1, throw new, right? That's going to be the multiple files found exception. And we probably should pass that file list back so we can build that out. We're going to need to build that constructor. Sure. So now I have a new multiple files found exception. Okay. And at some point we'll look at the line numbers. Our little Bobby tables. So big. Grown up. It's amazing. Okay. I was looking for a good sound effect. I can't find one. Yeah. Just eating and watching some coding. Ah, fantastic. All right, so project not found, multiple files found. I'm looking at this. If the project name doesn't exist, then it's going to fail out as well. Right? So maybe there's a project does not exist exception, but if the project name is actually a folder name. Hisamu. Is that Hisamu or is that his MU? Let me know how to pronounce that. I'm using C#.net and we're building a Visual Studio extension to actually receive code suggestions from you in the chat room, from other pair programmers in chat, and add these directly into Visual Studio. Yeah, I feel like I need to do a for loop to determine if I can find the project name first. You know? And if I can find the project name, then just work on that project. Let's do that. Let's just do a validation on project name here, which means we're going to spin through the project name, the project list twice, but that's an in-memory collection. It should run very, very fast. Since I can't look at the name without doing some sort of an iterator on this. So if project name, no, project, if project name does not equal string.empty, then we're going to do this. That feels weird. Would it only work with Twitch, or can it work with other platforms? It can work with other platforms, actually. The bot does know how to connect to Mixer, so it should work with Mixer. At some point, we're going to write a Twitch extension, but for right now, it generically works with a chat service, and there are Mixer chat services and Twitch chat services in here. Okay. So I think we need a Boolean in here. Bool project found equals false. Okay, and then I want to do this. And actually, I could probably make project found equals... It's actually going to be like this combined with that. Name equals project name, string comparison. All right, so if they do equal, Right, I've got an extra there. I can turn that into a var, okay. So if project count, so if it finds a project where the name equals the project name that's passed in, then it was found. If project found, break. Down here, if not project found, then let's turn project name into string.empty. That way now we break. Hi Samu. Okay. Hisamu. Okay. We'll do that. It seems like this would be more easy to read in all projects' file names and folders into their respective IEnumerables and do needed link searches. Yes. Oh, thank you so much for the follow, Hisamu. I appreciate you joining us. It would be nice, but that projects isn't. Oh no, it is an IEnumerable, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so can I do, since it's an IEnumerable, can I do link against this? Right? Can I do any? Add call to throw if not on you. No. No. It's an IEnumerable. I should be able to do that. I mean, you're going to end up doing multiple walkthroughs anyway, just hidden behind a link query. And if the project's found, I should just capture that project and move on, I think. And then I don't need to do this. You know? So this is returning a project. So what if I do this? Project, this project. Right? Oh. Then I don't need this Boolean. Right? If it equals, then I can say... if I say that... No. Do this. And then if project found... Well, no. Right, if project found, then this project equals that. Right, so now I've got a project, and then I can say if this project does not equal null, then zero it out. So now and then if this project equals null, then do this walkthrough. Then I don't have to do... Then I don't have to do this part here. Right? I still need to do file list add range on this project. Might as well do that here. I hate that. That's multiple exit points. But you know what? I've gone a little bit longer than I wanted to today. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but if you're so inclined to learn, it can be a bit of fun. Yeah. Don't have the effort to try out. No, there's like any career, like any skill, you're going to get out of it what you put into it. It's easy to start with something small and simple and build towards it. This project we're working on is very much intermediate to advanced. But there are ways to get in at something simpler and build towards it. I don't like how I call file list add range multiple times here. This needs to be a method. I'm going to save this off and put this in source control so we can get back to this later. Because, there we go. Yep. Because I think it's time to call it a day. Added exception classes and started validation of locating files. Yep, and I will sign my code. All right, push that out. Ooh. All right, all set. Cool. So we worked on a couple different things here where we're starting to isolate. We're going to handle multiple formats of file names that are being requested here. And we're going to handle, if somebody specifies, project name, folders, and then file name. And if we come through, we've already set up these exceptions. If we go through and locate when we're finding those files, where to go? If we don't find any files, we're going to throw a project file not found. If we do find more than one file, we'll throw a multiple files found exception. And we'll need to handle that. Let's take a look and see if anybody out there is streaming right now in science and technology that might be doing something cool that we can raid and send folks over there. Tried once doing HTML and JavaScript, at one point messed up, got frustrated. Oh, that's a shame. But I completely understand getting frustrated writing some code and wanting to step away from it. Let's see here. Code Enjoy is writing some TypeScript right now. Let's go over to Code Enjoy. Let's see if what they're doing over here. Yeah. Alrighty. I'm going to announce incoming raid. If you're interested in joining and heading over to Code Enjoy, let me make sure I get that right. Just hang out in the chat room. We'll head over there in just a few seconds. Happy Christmas. Great holiday to all of you. If you're a believer, enjoy the holiday. If you're not, I wish you peace. And like I said, a prosperous and good 2019. We'll see you next time. Take care, everybody. This video will be over on YouTube a little bit later today. Alrighty. See ya.